Welcome to Fieldsports Britain. Coming up later on, we're shooting There's News, There's Hunting YouTube and Hallo Charlie. First, we're here for tech, bling and shiny stuff. We're in Nuremberg. Ewa is all about making a statement. The brands spend a fortune on their stands, tempting distributors like moths to a flame to spend money on guns, clays, furniture and clothing. Something not for sale is Ike. He and his owner cause a stir every year. This year's sporting shooter editor Dom Holtam is brave enough to approach the amazing looking wolf dog.
How is he to have as a dog, as a pet?
The first 2-3 years they are very difficult, you know, so they are very wild and they destroy things, or the house or the car. He eat 2 times my Jeep from
he ate your
inside.
Jeep?
Yes.
Twice,
yes. And,
wow, just because he wants to get out?
Yes.
Do you hunt with him, or
no,
he's just
too big.
He's
too big.
And why did you choose this kind of dog instead of a Labrador or a Spaniel or a normal dog?
Because they're very intelligent. They have a lot of qualities. What I appreciate, like the loyalty,
so he's completely
power,
loyal to you.
Yes,
yeah.
And he's nice. Yeah.
He's beautiful.
I like to look at him. So. Yeah.
But this is not a dog for normal people to have.
What you will say with that? I'm not normal.
you have to
explain me.
Awkward.
Yes. Show it, Tom. Tom wants to tell us something.
If you've never had a dog before, this is not the dog to get. You have to be fairly serious to look after a dog like that.
Yes, and you need a lot of time, so I have my own business, so he can be always with me.
Well, he's an amazing looking dog. Thanks very much for talking to us.
Thank you.
Still not sure where the wolf ends and the dog begins, but on with the show, and it's amazing who they let in. It's none other than George. He's here filming a new episode of Club Digweed and chatting to some of his sponsors, including Game Ball, Prematic and of course Parazzi.
First time I've been, I mean I haven't been very far at the moment, but it's mind-blowing, absolutely mind-blowing. You know, for a shooting enthusiast, this is the place to come. I think there's one entire floor based on knives alone. I had a look at the aim point telescopic sight, which is a centre dot which you keep both eyes open on. They are cheap enough now to be able to put on a rib on a shotgun and be able to use that for shooting with Brennecker slugs at home on, you know, foxes and as long as it's on your licence, foxes and wild boar at home.
George is not the only big name wandering the aisles. A few years ago, Hunters Video, in association with Aimpoint, introduced Franz-Albrecht to Oettingen-Spielberg to the hunting world with wild boar fever. So, do people recognise him at the show?
Happens once in a while. I don't know whether it's because I am a well-known face or whether I'm just in a way. But in general, it does happen once in a while, and has, let's say, the amount of times that I've been stopped has maybe increased over the last 1 or 2 years compared to 6 years ago when I was here the first time.
His shooting has become a thing of legend, but did he realise how famous his fast bolt action would become?
Well, I had no idea. I mean, Paul Eric, who's the owner of Hunters Video, and I met by coincidence at a hunt in January in 2008 in Berleburg, which is one of the famous hunting estates in Germany, and I was invited as a guest, and Paul Eric was there to make a film, and we were just shuffled together on a stand, and we both nearly froze to death on that January afternoon. But then we just realized that we both had the same passion about hunting, and that's how the whole filming started. So it was a very kind of learning by doing approach to it. And I think the main, or let's say the main driver to this whole project was the huge population increase of wild boar across Europe.
Of course, wild boar are exciting to hunt, but can he explain, with all his experience of pigs, why?
That's a very good question. I think many people in Europe are asking themselves the same question. Because if you go to a shoot and you have, let's say, 5 different species that could come to your stand, let's say you have red deer, fallow deer, mouflon, wild boar and roe deer, I don't understand what makes wild boar the main species that everybody wants to have come by their stand. They're not prettier than a red deer, you know? They run maybe a little bit differently, but it's very difficult to grab the real, the magic You know, I couldn't tell you, but there is definitely something about them that no other animal or no other species in Europe has, and that's why they've become so popular.
More films coming?
Definitely.
Right, sticking with boar, and Dom's found something for all those guns he tests in his magazine.
So everybody who shoots in the UK needs a gun safe. Essential piece of security and storage. We're here on the Treasure Lixor stand here in Hall 1, and they make some very, very nice luxury gun safes. But these ones have a little bit of a twist that we liked a lot. Vinyl wrap. Costs between €150 and €200 to have this added to the price of the gun safe, depending on the size. And as you can see, they've got a few designs and they look absolutely brilliant. An essential for any man cave.
These may not be to everyone's taste, but cool is cool, and there's nothing cooler at the moment than thermal and night vision. ATN is causing a few ripples from across the pond and are now distributing in the UK thanks to Scott Country. It's a little dab of Silicon Valley on the oily metal of the gun trade.
So right now I'm using the X-Sight, full live streaming, 30 frames. You can see everything that the shooter does. We wanted to build the smart scope for your smartphone or your smart light. You know, and that's where everything is heading to today, and that's the expectation that we have. We built a lot of features, a lot of functionality in these devices, and it's amazing what they can do today. If you want crystal clear imaging, this will offer it to you. You can work with the system in full daylight, and you can work in total and complete darkness. You press one button and it switches from day to night.
What's next? I know, ribs, but not baby back. Browning's back with the Pro Trap gun.
We've been absent from the trap market for a number of years now, but we were obviously very dominant at one stage, but we've come back with a very strong offering in the Pro Trap. This particular beast is a high rib version of the Pro Trap, obviously for obvious reasons. The rib itself is adjustable both front and rear. It's got a 2-pin adjustment at the front and an infinite number of adjustments at the back with an Allen key. You can adjust point of aim. If you notice as well, this particular model comes featured with the Invector DS choke system, which is common to all the 725 range now. This one also features a Monte Carlo adjustable stock, so infinite amount of adjustments both vertically and laterally as well. So we should have sort of a perfect setup for almost anybody. Another key feature of the gun is the weight system. Now we have a fore-end weight and a stock weight as well. So this is what's called the barrel weight system, and you can move it to the front or to the rear of the barrels, and it will go under the fore-end as well. The stock weight system, you remove the butt pad, insert the bar, and screw it into position, and the weights are locked into place with a locking nut. So again, you can adjust finely the balance between fore-end and the rear of the gun. The high rib trap gun isn't a new invention at all. It's been around for many years, and many other companies have pioneered that technology, so we've been late to the party really in many ways, but I think we've come back now with a very strong intent to go back and claim some of that market with a very strong offering with a high rib or a low rib version as well, which I can show you now. So this is still the Pro Trap range, but as you can see it's got a black action, very plain black action with the gold lettering. It's a very attractive, elegant looking gun. Again, a 3-position sporting trigger. The high rib is 3,400. The choked version in the low rib is 2,900, and the fixed choke version of this gun is 2,800.
The Browning stand is new for 2015 and looks very smart. They need plenty of space to show off their range of shotguns, pistols and rifles, including this sleek little number. IWA is not just a European event, it is truly international and becoming ever more so. Chinese companies are not just supplying the raw materials and workforce, they're also coming to the market with branded goods. Shooter King is one of them.
If we want to survive and make a bigger business in the market, we do need something different. So that's what I suggest to all the Chinese factories, that do something different, do something special, and you can make a good business in Europe.
We also ask Healy to answer some questions in Chinese for our Youku audience. We just hope he's being nice. Hunting really is a global industry, and it's when you come to an event like this, it's easy to see it's doing really well. From Objects of Beauty here in Germany, back to the UK and David on the Fieldsports Channel News Stump.
This is Fieldsports Channel News. A Czech model has gone on Facebook to taunt antis. Personal trainer Michaela Fialova from the Czech Republic travels the world to hunt big game and post videos and pictures on Facebook, including a dig at animal rights activists if she can.
The animal have a right to live proper life.
Check her out on Facebook, bit.ly/Czech girl. It's the year of the lead-free rifle bullet. At Iwa there were launches from Serbian ammunition manufacturer Privy Partizan's Z-Grom rifle bullet, made of copper with a tin core. To a backdrop of falling export sales because the arms embargo on Russia includes sporting weapons, manufacturers have been coming up with increasingly ingenious products to sell to the rest of us. Polycase ammunition is a new injection moulded plastic bullet. Western Australia is one step closer to hunting on Crown land. Thanks to pressure from Shooters and Fishers MP Rick Mazza, a 2-year trial has been recommended by a parliamentary committee. This is despite other politicians claiming it will inspire a US gun culture, and the suggestion that the shooters are not trained well enough, so if they hit an animal, it's going to suffer when it dies. There's a sense of relief among people who live in the British countryside. Prime Minister David Cameron has promised a free vote by MPs on repealing the ban on hunting with hounds. He promised it before and failed to carry it out, but he clearly sees it as a vote winner in the UK general election in May. What inspires people to support conservation? Well, a new study by Cornell University in the US says it's bird watching and hunting. Researchers found that bird watchers are about 5 times as likely and hunters about 4 times as likely as non-recreationists to engage in wildlife and habitat conservation. And finally, if you find yourself out hunting on a snowmobile, don't do what this bloke does. It's okay, he escapes unharmed. You are now up to date with Fieldsports Channel News. Stalking the stories, fishing for facts.
Thank you, David. Now let's look at what you lot have been up to. It is Hallo Charlie.
Hello Charlie, this is Pete Lincoln at the IWA. This is Scott Blaney at the IWA with Charlie!
Hello Charlie, it's Fred and Will here from Sussex, out night shooting.
Hello Charlie, Paul from Devon, out on the road this morning. Great morning, great show, see you soon.
Hello Charlie, this is James Box from Sutton Gamekeeper. We're out rabbit shooting to get some rabbits on the menu tonight.
Hello Charlie, nice to see you here in Eva.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Not a bad result there. Happy hunting, y'all.
That's it. Please send me your Hello Charlies via Facebook, YouTube, Dropbox or email charlie@fieldsportschannel.tv. Please keep sending them in. Now, Mike Powell with Outfoxing.
I think the best way to describe calling foxes is an imprecise science. Something that works today won't work tomorrow. There's certainly no silver bullet call that you use that'll work every time. It doesn't happen, and probably just as well too. If you're out in the summer of a summer evening and a wild rabbit gets caught by a stoat or a fox and it squeals, you'll see any fox that are around will go straight to it. That doesn't happen apart from when you're calling cubs. Adult foxes are far more wary, but they know the difference. This is a good old standby that I've used for years, which is the wham call. That's been going not as long as my original fox call, which was the wheel off a Hornby railway carriage, which did exactly the same job. This is also a good one from Best Fox Call. Once you get the knack of them, they're good. I quite like the raspy sound. That seems to work occasionally. There's another one here, the Gnasher. They are all very similar. Quite a good little one is the Foul Harbour small hen call, which is very quiet, but if you get a fox in within 50-60 yards, you'll hold it with it's a field mouse call, squeak really, not a call, squeak. The black one is the old original Best Fox Call, which you bite. That works quite well, but not always. If I'm calling blind, I can't see any foxes around, I'll generally go for the best fox call, the raucous one. It's a copy of the Australian tenterfield, which is a good long distance interest catching call, I would say, and bring it in a bit closer. I'm not a huge fan of swapping calls. I just think that it tests a fox's credulity a bit, because it doesn't happen in the wild. A rabbit scream is a rabbit scream. It doesn't suddenly change from one thing to another. And then of course you've got your hand call, which we always used to use. If we move on to digital calls, there's two I usually use. One's the Fox Pro Spitfire, which has a whole range of calls, fox calls, rabbit calls, all sorts. The one I particularly like, because it's small, the Mini Colibri, which you can fit a little amplifier on. Now, that sounds a bit squeaky. I think you have to remember when you're dealing with calls that you're not necessarily, you're trying to attract the fox's attention and curiosity. I've got a friend in the village who was painting his kitchen in the winter a couple of years back, and he lit his log burning stove and it got too hot, and he opened the window and it smoked and triggered his smoke alarm, and a fox came tearing down the field right within 6 feet of the back window to a smoke alarm. But I mean, you don't carry a smoke alarm and a box of matches with you when you go out foxing. They're all worth trying, but there's no magic call.
From foxing in Devon to the wider world of hunting and shooting on YouTube, it is Hunting YouTube. This is Hunting YouTube, which aims to show the best hunting and shooting videos that YouTube has to offer. Daryl and Gary of Geordie Hunters TV have a new episode out, Foxing and Stalking. Good to see them back. Another 20-minuter, this one from the USA. Solo Hunter episode 6 of 13 has Tim Burnett out for part 2 of his elk bow hunt, filmed during the September rut. Staying stateside, Big Bucks in Georgia Mountains is on the Hunting Grounds channel. Youth field staffer Stuart Keane is after big bucks in Georgia, and he learns the ups and downs of self-filming for the first time. Now here is an unusual bird shooting film from Cyprus. Hakan Hanioglu is after song thrushes. Not everyone's cup of Twitty pie, but good for enraging the antis. Now we go sausage side to the big event of the week, the Iwa Gun Trade Show in Nuremberg. This is a media event at the RWS ammunition factory nearby, and it is one of a series of product reviews, this on the new Zeiss Victory V8 scope in 1.128 by 30. Here's a proper new product film from Iwa, rushed out and worth a view if you have been watching, like me, the Zauer family grow from 202 through 101 and 303 to this, the 404. More from Iwa, Barata Hellas has a video gander at the 486 shotgun. That must be Greeks looking at Italians. We finish with another 20-minuter, and this one's in German. If your German is up to it, he covers the ground in the big sheds on the old Nuremberg rally grounds. Interesting historical fact, where the Iwa show takes place, starting in Hall 5, looking at knives, long ones. That's it for this week. If you have a YouTube film you would like us to pop into the weekly top 8, send it in via YouTube or email me the link, charlie@fieldsportschannel.tv. Well, we are back next week. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already. Please go to our webpage, fieldsportschannel.tv, where you can click to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, or pop your email address into our constant contact box, and we'll constantly contact you about our show at 7 PM UK time every Wednesday. From Germany, about to make the long drive home, this has been Fieldsports Britain. Good hunting, good shooting, good fishing, and goodbye.